I'm talking today to Shawkat Ahmed, who is the Chief Commercial Officer for Yahsat. Shawkat, Yahsat has recently launched a satellite. When did that happen?
Russell, we launched a satellite on 24th of April and the satellite's already reached its orbit, and right now we're doing the in-orbit testing, which should finish by the end of May.
So from the end of May onwards you should have some capacity and some products to sell.
Well, we already are selling products into the market. We have been operational with our first satellite for almost a year. So we have a lot of customers in Africa using a C-band capacity. We also have a number of TV channels who are primarily using high-definition broadcasting technology on our satellite over the Middle East. So we've already launched a number of services. But with the second satellite, the most interesting service that we're going to launch is called Yahsat, which is a game-changing satellite broadband service that we'll be launching into 27 countries.
And that's 27 countries in Africa, or more generally Africa and the Middle East?
So our coverage for this would be South Africa, Nigeria, Angola, Uganda, Tanzania, Kenya, Sudan, Egypt, the entire Middle East, as well as countries like Turkey, Azerbaijan and Afghanistan. And
how will Yahsat be sold?
So we have our service partners in all these markets. So after meeting up with many important internet service providers and telecom operators in the region, we have selected 2 partners for most of these markets. These are our national service partners, and they already have their distribution infrastructure. So for example, here in South Africa, we have Vox Telecom, who are a very well-known internet service provider in the market. So they'll be promoting our service here.
And what will it retail at in a range in dollars?
So as you know, this is going to be made available through the high capacity K-band system. So we will have 20 gigabits of throughput all over these countries, and we have a variety of service plans available, which range from an entry-level package of $20 retail in some markets, going all the way up to let's say a $160, $170 package for a consumer. And then we obviously have different pricing scheme for the business users.
And if I was a consumer paying $20, what would I be getting for my $20?
So again, it depends on each market, because besides the cost of the service, in some markets you also have taxation and various other things. So our entry-level package is in the region of 1 meg in most of the countries.
And that's a 1 meg download?
Yes, but 1 meg download, that's the entry level.
Yeah.
But in some markets, based on the feedback we received from our service partners, they're happy with the 512 kbps service as well. But what has happened over the last year or so has made us make some major changes in our product portfolio, and this is primarily because in Africa today you have 95% of subscribers who use broadband being served by 3G. And I'm not talking about South Africa, I'm talking about Nigeria, I'm talking about East Africa. So all these operators are heavily dependent on the 3G networks, and because of which there is high loading in many major urban centers, which results in a drop in the quality of service.
Yeah.
Because as you know,
or non-availability of service.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So with mobile broadband, you have limitation of spectrum, and again, if you are living in a city like Nairobi, where you don't have direct access to fiber, the fiber comes through Mombasa, and at the moment we've seen, based on some of the figures that were released, there are 44 cuts per month on an average. And one of the biggest telecom operators in Kenya, they lost 286 million Kenyan shillings, which is equal to $25 million or thereabouts, just because of cable cuts. So if you're living in Nairobi, what you will do today is you will subscribe with MTN, you'll also subscribe with Orange, and you'll also subscribe maybe with a WiMAX provider to make sure that you have close to 100% availability of broadband. But at the same time, you are never sure about the speed or the throughput you would receive, because many people do the same thing. So the best system in Kenya today provides an uptime of 85% availability, which is very, very low. And these numbers will not improve dramatically because the way the infrastructure is being laid out is not as per the standards that we see in Europe or the Western world. So typically what happens is, as an operator, you will ask a contractor to bring fiber into the city. So they compromise on the quality of the trenches and the deployment. And then what is worse is when you have the government investing into infrastructure projects like waterworks or roadways.
They then dig them up.
Yeah, the other contractors dig them up. And this is a big issue for most of the operators. So on top of this, there is one more point of failure, which is if you have a cell tower in an area, let's say outside of Nairobi, you might subcontract it to a third party who will not have enough stock of diesel, because all these base stations in Africa mostly work on diesel generators. So you have one more point of failure there. So it's very, very difficult to reach to a level where you have the same quality of service for these high-end users who are used to better broadband experience in US and Europe. So our plans that we are taking to the market are very high performance service
reliability.
High reliability, and we're talking about 7 megs, 10 megs and 15 megs to be made available in any part of Kenya, in any part of Uganda, and the pricing will be comparable to other systems. So we believe there's an opportunity for us, especially with these high-end users who are today using so many different connections, that now they can get one reliable connection with an SLA of 99.5%, and at the same time reach to 15 megabits with a higher probability. And this is possible because we have these high capacity spot beams through our system, which is optimized for internet usage.
And in a year's time, how many subscribers do you think you'll have? What order of magnitude? Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands?
So far we've, from all these service partners who again rely on their dealer networks, we've received orders for more than 20,000 terminals already. But as I said, the way the market is shaping today, we believe that we will have a very high number of high ARPU customers who want high performance broadband, who are not happy with their existing 3G connection and who want to get higher speed and higher reliability. So I don't think our focus is going to be on the number. It's going to be on the revenue per subscriber. So I guess so
this is a niche product.
Yeah, it's not a niche product. So again, it depends on the market. So for Nigeria, East Africa, Afghanistan, we feel we'll have more companies, more small and mid-sized businesses, more high net worth individuals subscribing to the service. There will also be a lot of government agencies who now want to have a solution for school networks. So the difficulty so far for the government has been that they can fund the capital expenditure, but what happens to the monthly bill? So now for the first time, they can have a monthly bill which is below $100 per school. You know? So there are many options, and it's not limited to just one market segment. In South Africa or in Turkey, we believe there's a lot of potential to sell to the end users, because also in these markets you have options of financing the terminal. Although our terminal is not very expensive, we sell it to our partners at around $400, but then when you add the shipping costs and the installation, it could be expensive for certain market segment in Kenya today. But in South Africa and Turkey, in many other markets, you have options of going to banks, leasing it out, financing. So in those markets, we believe we'll have higher number of consumers using our system. So for example, in South Africa, we've already seen through Vox a lot of interest from farmers. A lot of interest from people who manage these lodges and
upcountry lodges.
It depends on the market, but I guess from our side, we have to make sure that our solution works for both ends of the spectrum. So on one hand we can deliver a solution for Shell or BP at 15 megabits per month, 15 megabits, and on the other hand we also have 512 kbps or a 1 meg service available for $20 to $30. So we believe we have to make sure that we serve all these 27 markets in a unique fashion, because all of them have their own market conditions. You also have to deal with the distribution, the infrastructure, which is very different in Nigeria compared to South Africa.
Shawkat, thanks for talking to me today.